The transmigration of souls, reincarnation. Geronda. How can some people, even well-educated ones, believe in the transmigration of souls? The theory of transmigration of souls is convenient for people, especially for atheists and non-believers. It is the devil's greatest deception. It's how the devil keeps people in a life of sin with the thought that the soul comes again and again into this world. It's as though he's telling them, well, even if you don't succeed this time, you'll come back to life and will succeed next time. And even if again you don't succeed, you will return again and again, you will evolve. And so they say to themselves, it doesn't matter if I commit this or that sin. And they become careless, living recklessly without repenting. This is how the devil blinds them and hooks them to hell. I've never seen greater cunning and craftiness from the devil. And once the devil hooks you, will he ever allow you to break free? This is the worst theory of all that Hinduism has to offer. Late one evening, a young man came by the Kalivi. I told him, young man, at this late hour I still need to read the service of Vespers. Are you still carrying on with that? He asked and went away. The next day he came back and started telling me about some visions he'd had. I asked him, did you perhaps smoke some hashish before you had your visions? He answered, yes, I have in the past, but not the time when I had the vision. So I asked him, did you perhaps read about the transmigration of the soul? Yes, he told me. This is where he had become confused and misled. He read about a transmigration of the soul, his ego consumed him, and he fashioned dreams of himself as a great and wealthy man from thousands of years before. Then he saw in his vision that he ascended to heaven, but that his name was not written there and was told to return to earth again. The devil created this fantasy for him, and so I told him, all these things are fairy tales. Why do you believe them? Unfortunately, there are also many educated people who believe in such nonsense. There was a donkey near my Kalivi that I had named Nasser because it was energetic. One day a Greek man who was living in Switzerland came to see me and heard me calling the donkey Nasser. When he came back after a while, he brought 2 packages of sweets. One had elaborate sweets in it and the other was ordinary. These are for you, he said, and gave me the ordinary sweets. Then he said, these elaborate sweets are for Nasser. I realized from my previous visit, he explained, that it was Nasser. When I met him, he looked at me with such sad eyes that it broke my heart. He thought that Egyptian President Nasser had been reincarnated as this donkey. And he actually believed it. Are you in your right mind? I asked him. I simply named the donkey Nasser because it was so energetic, he just couldn't understand. And this is nothing. Let me tell you of another incident many years ago. Some Germans had gone to Crete to conduct a memorial service for German soldiers who had died there during the occupation. During the memorial service, a Cretan man was passing by with his donkey loaded with all his produce. When the donkey saw all the people gathered there, it started to bray. One of the Germans thought that the donkey was his brother who had been killed in the war and whose soul had transmigrated into the donkey, which recognized him and greeted him with its bray. Right then the German stood at attention and gave a military salute with tears in his eyes. He then went directly to the Cretan and tried to buy the donkey, offering large sums of money. The Cretan thought it was a joke, but the German kept insisting. When someone finally told the Cretan that the German really was willing to pay top money, even as much as if he were buying a Mercedes, he unloaded the donkey, unsaddled it, and gave it to the German, who received it with tearful eyes and took it to Germany. Are you serious, Geranda? It's a fact. If I hadn't heard this from a serious person, I wouldn't believe it either.